Yep, I'm going to go ahead and pass the ball here to Brandon, and just to let you guys know, we are recording this, so be mindful of any background noises. I don't want to have to mute everybody. Hold on. Take it away, Brandon.
Thank you. So you should see the NRT gateway in front of you.
Yep.
Okay, great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to update your profile for azmoves.com, the difference between the administration site and the public site that the clients will see, and how to access your branded website for your online promotion. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of downloads that you guys can use to help you see all the tools that we have and add it to your website. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. So what we're doing today, again, is we're going to work on our profiles. So our profile can be found at AZ Moves. And if we go to the home page on AZ Moves, the first way that a user can search for your profile is clicking on the Agents and Offices button, and then going to Find an Agent's Office, an Agent in Office. On the left-hand side, this is the Find an Agent field. On the right-hand side is the Find an Office field. So if I wanted to, I can go look for Southwest, click Search, go to the Office page. We see Harold over here, meet our sales associates, and then I'll get a list of everyone that's currently in the office. So we'll use Eric. This is Eric's profile. The difference between a profile and a website on AZ Moves is the profile is your About Me section of your website. So your profile is part of the website, but the website is where you want your clients to go to. So for example, if we click on View My Website, this is Eric's website. On the links that are up here, which are common in all websites, there's an About Me section, and if I click on there, it actually takes me back to his profile within his website. So again, two different concepts here. We have the website that contains the profile, or the profile just by itself. Now you need to set up the profile so that when people come and read about you, they know who you are, and it gives them a little taste of what your background is and so forth. And to do that, we need to go to the administration site. The administration site is behind the NRT gateway. So to get to the NRT gateway, you would just type in www.nrtgateway.com and press Enter. And you'll have to put in your username and password. Now, when you get to the NRT gateway, you should have a bunch of applications that look sort of like this. You might have a few more. What I've found is that a lot of people get confused between Inside AZ Moves and azmoves.com admin. So what we want to remember is that azmoves.com admin is the administration site for azmoves.com. So when we're looking at it, we want to look for just azmoves.com admin. Inside AZ Moves is our intranet site. That's for you guys and where we post all of our content. But azmoves.com admin is where you'll administer your site. So we're going to click on there. And then the administration is going to load. You know you're in the right place because, again, it says azmoves.com administration site. On the left-hand side, we have agent tools, reporting tools, property tools, email and client tools. Today what we're going to do is we're going to click on agent tools, and the two parts that we want to look at is agent profile and agent branded website. Well, we already said that we want to update our profile, so we're going to click on agent tools and agent profile. I've already preloaded a picture. That is not what I look like. What you need to do is, first and foremost, if you do not have a picture in here, you need to add your picture. Buyers will not do business with someone online if they don't at least have a picture. So it's very important that you put a picture in there. So to do that, we're going to go under where it says Upload Photo. Depending on what browser you're in, I'm in Google Chrome, but if you're in Internet Explorer, it's either going to say Choose File or Browse, but the layout's going to be the same. And then you're just going to go and search for a photo to use. I'm just going to pick any photo. It doesn't really matter at this point. And if you already have a photo in place, you can click on the Delete Current to upload a new one. If you don't have a photo, if this area is blank right over here, then you do not need to click Delete Current and then choose Update. And it'll upload a new photo. The next part, which is one of the most important parts, is the MLS Member ID. This is your ID that you use to get into Flex MLS, and that is your first initial of your first name, first initial of your last name, and 3 digits. You're not going to be able to see it here because I'm on a test account, but normally when you click the Edit button, you'll have a field that says Armless, and then a big white area where you can put in your MLS ID. We need this ID because it does several things, the most important of which is that it ties your listings to your profile. So if you think about it, azmoves.com feeds all of our other websites, and if we don't have your MLS ID to tie who you are to your listings, then all those other sites don't know what to do with those listings. So this MLS Member ID edit area is very, very important. Next, we have the agent data, which is Trident. This white area is what we pull from the feed. So what you always want to do is when you're in this area is look at all of the fields, and if anything is incorrect, you have to let us know so we can fix it. Again, this is done from a different system, so if it's wrong here, it's going to be wrong on your website as well. Next, we have agent information. Your title is not an area that you can change. There's actually a few areas that you cannot change. One of them is title. Another one is your designations and awards. In the agent data Trident field, you also we also can't change the office name, the office phone, or your email address. So just keep in mind if you want those changed, that those in the Trident box cannot be changed. But the title, the awards, and designations, you can either call in a ticket or send me an email and ask for the change, or you need it changed. I will tell you that if you want to change your awards or designations, make sure that you actually have them, because we do have to look them up and verify that you have those awards and designations. Home phone number and office extension, you can fill it out if you want, but you'll have your direct phone, your cell phone, and your office phone in your profile already. For Facebook, Twitter, blog, and YouTube, if you have your own social media account, and this is outside the scope of this webinar, but if you have your own social media account, what you want to do is you want to copy the link, which is this long address on the top of your web browser, and paste it into these corresponding areas. So, for example, you'd put Twitter to Twitter, your blog would go to your blog link, your YouTube channel will go to YouTube, Facebook to Facebook, and so forth. If you do not have that, what I've done is I've created a guide that you can download, and I'll show you where that is. And you can use Coldwell Banker's social media. The reason why I recommend this is twofold. Number one, just like with the clients not wanting to do business with someone without a photo, most people between the ages of 20 and 35 want to know that their agent is on social media in some capacity. So if you're not at the stage where you have your own social media accounts that you use for business, I would like you to use the Coldwell Banker social media in its place. What that will do is it'll allow us to have links to the Coldwell Banker social media pages and make us look like we have a social media presence while we start to establish our own. So all you would do is you would copy these links exactly how it is. Copy it. So here's the Facebook one. Right-click copy, and then paste it into the Facebook link, and then do the same thing for Twitter, and so forth and so on. Once you're finished with that, what you want to do is, before you do anything else, you're going to want to scroll to the very bottom and click Save Draft. The reason why we do this is, in Internet Explorer, especially versions 9 and below, Internet Explorer has a very short memory, and what I've seen in the past couple of years is that if you don't save draft between each change you make when you're making your profile, then what's going to happen is that it's not going to save everything and you'll have to start over. So I don't recommend that. So again, what I recommend is that every time that you make a change to a section, so agent information is a section, display options, and so forth, you're going to click Save Draft before you make any other changes. Now, on here, the only things that I did not include are LinkedIn, agent audio file, and agent video file. LinkedIn, you would not want to link to Coldwell Banker's LinkedIn page because LinkedIn is your social media business profile or your online resume. So you're going to want to create a LinkedIn account and link to that account so when people click on the LinkedIn icon, they'll see what your background is because you want to show them your background, not Coldwell Banker's background. Under Agent Audio File down here, this is where you can upload a audio file to your profile. If you choose to do that, that's fine. I don't recommend that because I think a more valuable solution is using the Agent Video link, where if you have a YouTube channel, you can actually copy a link to the video that you've done. And I know that Harold's been a big proponent of video, so if you have questions on video, you can ask him and how to upload it to YouTube. And you can copy and paste that link right in here. So when someone clicks on view my video on my website and profile, our video will automatically display. That's a very good use of cross-promotion with video. Next, we have display options. Under display options, we have do not display cell phone, do not display email. Basically, the only time that I can think of that you would want to use either of those is if you need to hide them for one reason or another, or you don't want to display your email because you're changing it, or your cell phone because you're changing it, and you're waiting for the feed to update. Otherwise, you can just leave those blank. What you always want to do is click Show View Office Listings. What this will do, especially for our new agents, is it'll pull in all the office listings that's associated with your office. So in other words, I'm a new agent, I don't have listings of my own, but when I choose Show View Office Listings, it'll allow me to have a link that says View Office Listings and show all the listings under my profile. So it's very good because when you send your clients to your website, they're still going to see all the office listings in your office, so they can click it and they'll contact you. Next, we have Showing Appointment Email options. By default, what's checked off is email me when a showing appointment is updated, confirmed, or canceled. You want to leave that on because you'll get notifications if someone has updated, confirmed, or canceled a showing appointment. The other option that you can add is you can add additional email addresses. So by default, we're always going to be using your azmoves.com email address, again, coming out of our main system over here. But if you use an alternate address, you can add it over here and you'll get emails in both your AZMoves and your personal email address. Next, we have awards, and under awards, we have Diamond Society, International Previews Property, President's Circle, President's Elite, President's Premier, and Sterling Society. Again, this is an area where you will not be able to change. In fact, if you try to click Add or Remove, nothing will happen. So if you do have one of these awards for 2012, and this is currently not in this white box over here, you can send me an email at brandon.pons@azmoves.com, and I will add it for you. Same thing with designations. We have a whole bunch of designations here, and we're always adding new ones upon request. Next, we have languages. What I tell people is, if you speak more than one language, then I would put down English and then the second language, if those are your two languages. If you only speak one language and that language is English, you do not have to add English into the right-hand box because it is implied. The website is in English and you would need a translator to translate it to another language, so it is implied. However, if you do speak more than one language, Spanish, French, Farsi, whatever your other languages are, you do want to put those down because that is something that's good for clients to see, especially if you have international clients. And to add a language, it's very easy. Just click on the one that you want and click on the Add button, and that's it. So again, that's how you add. English, add. And then if you have multiple languages and you want to change the order, you just highlight the one in the right-hand box and move it down or move it up. So this is all pretty simple stuff. Next, useful links. Useful links are links that you can add to your website and profile page to different areas throughout your region. What I mean by that is, if we click on the Edit button, you're going to have links to Chamber of Commerce, cities, counties, DMV, golf, museums, music, news, parks, camping, schools, sports, tourism, and utilities. Now keep in mind that this is statewide. We are a statewide company. So when you're going down this list, you want to make sure that you click off the links that correspond to where you guys operate. So for example, if you don't work in Apache Junction, you're not going to click on Apache Junction Chamber of Commerce, because that wouldn't make a lot of sense. However, with that said, if you do work in a large farming area, you may want to put some of those cities in there as well, so you have a broader display of links. Now in here, you're limited to 10 links. So all you need to do is go down and click off the links that you want, and I'm just clicking at random, and then click the Save button. And these links will appear on your website. I will do one of them so we can update it. If my, actually no, mine's not going to work. It's a test account. So we've made a few changes. So again, I'm going to Save Draft so I don't lose any of my changes. Every time you do Save Draft, it will jump you up to the top of the page. That is by design, and we can't change it. I do get that from time to time. Last and not least is your biography. Now, in my class, I do spend a lot of time on the biography, and since this is a quick session, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I will give you a couple of points. Number one, business philosophy, education and training, awards and designations, area of expertise, community involvement, personal background, and communities I serve are all set by default. These are recommendations. By no means do you have to keep them that way. You can actually click on the Add Bullet link and type in anything that you want. So for example, this is a new header. And click Save. And if we scroll down, you're going to see this is a new header. It becomes a new topic. These names over here are the names of the sections that you're going to create. So going back to one of these, the header is going to be the name that's going to show on your profile page. So if we go back to Eric, under business philosophy, so if we're looking at business philosophy over here, he filled out his information over here. The next header he had was area of expertise, and then he changed one to say professional affiliations, personal, and then he used communities I served. So each one of these will be the header to the information that you ultimately put in there. Now, I will tell you that business philosophy is pretty cookie cutter, and I would suggest that you change that, since that's the first thing someone sees, to something that's a little more eye-catchy. One of the things that I always mention is if you're gonna have someone read your profile, you have to give them a reason to do that. So a lot of agents will put in their mission statement or their business philosophy actually written out in a phrase. Let me show you what I mean by that. So this is Van Robinson. I use his example a lot, and he changed business philosophy to say, what is the perfect realtor to have? So right over here, when I clicked on the edit button for business philosophy, he just highlighted this and changed it to what is the perfect realtor to have, so on and so forth. The reason why he does that is because the goal is to have someone actually read the profile. If you just have business philosophy like everyone else in the company that hasn't made changes to it, you're less likely to have that user actually read the content that's in there. So definitely suggest that you guys change the title, to, especially this top one, to something that's eye-catching. You want to get my attention so that I continue to read. As we know that most attention spans are pretty small, so we want to make sure that we get right to the point. And let's go back to Van so you guys can get an idea of what you'd want to put in your profile. So again, his title is, what is the perfect realtor to have? And he repeats it. We should have him change that. And then he goes on to say, one who will never give up, one who is a great negotiator, one who invented thinking outside the box, and one who is also an interior designer. Yes, can you even imagine a more perfect combination? So just this one sentence right here, he tells me, gets my attention by saying, what is the perfect realtor to have? And then he backs it up with why he's saying that. This will get me interested in reading more of his content. As you guys get more into all of our tools, you're going to see that you actually have the ability in your profile to embed video. So this introduction would be a great add-in if Van were to put in a video right over here to then give a video testimonial or a video bio or a video blog on who he is. So there's a lot of possibilities. The other thing I want to mention is we have all these links over here. If you do not have content in them, so what I mean by that is when I click edit and I start typing in here and saving, that's content. If they're blank, they're not going to show up on your profile. So right now all these are blank for me, none of them would show up on the profile. As soon as you put content in there, then it'll tell the website to display that on there. And we want to be mindful of, we don't want to give too much information and be too verbose. I like to use 4 of these and start from there. First one is business philosophy, which is what we're going to change to our mission statement. Then we're going to use area of expertise. We're going to do communities I serve and community involvement if you have any. Now, I left out personal background and education and training for 2 very important reasons. If you set up your LinkedIn profile, all that information is already going to be on there. LinkedIn is social media, so you're more likely to have someone click on the LinkedIn link to find out about you than scrolling all the way down. Another thing you need to know is when I'm looking at a website, right now I'm on a desktop, so I have a big display, but everyone's going to look at these profiles and websites differently on a smartphone, a tablet, laptop, desktop, or even a big TV. We have something that's called below the fold. What that is this area right over here. Everything that's below it is below the fold, and everything that I can see above it is above the fold. Below the fold means it's content that you can't see without scrolling down. So for me to see the rest of Van's profile, I have to scroll all the way down. The likelihood, in all honesty, of someone scrolling down is minimal if you don't have a strong profile. Even if you do, they might not scroll all the way down. So that's why that business philosophy, that first area that I keep talking about, is the best, is the most important area to update and get the information that you want in there. So what information do we put in there? Well, I already gave you guys an example of what Van can do, and if you're looking for Van's profile, because you can always go and look at other agents' profiles, it's azmoves.com/Van_Robinson. But what I like to do is I also like to think of search engine optimization, which is how does Google find me? How would Google find my profile? In order for Google to find your profile, what you need to do is you need to put in search terms that people are actually searching for within this top area. And if we move to, let's see if I have Mary still up here. Yep. And if we move to another agent, Mary Kerr, what she took my class, and what she did is she used this top area to really put in a lot of search terms and information to describe who she is, what she does, and how she'd be a great agent for a buyer or seller. The other thing that I teach also is if you're struggling because you're new to the industry and you don't have a lot of history in real estate, that's okay. What did you do in your past? What was your previous career that gave you skills that will make you a great real estate agent now? So, for example, in Van's, he talked about he was an interior designer. Well, that just really works well with real estate because he's able to look at a house and give his client recommendations that they might not see. Let's say you're an accountant. Well, accountants have exceptional level of detail, and they also have the ability to be very meticulous and are good with numbers. So those are bits of information that you would want to add to your profile to make you stand out from everyone else that has a profile on azmoves.com. But let's take a look at, yes.
When the search engines come to say our profile, are they just going to search above the fold? Is that as far as they go?
Well, what they do is, by default, is they're going to pull in the topmost information. So probably, let's say, this information right here is what they're going to look at first. And they will, at the first time that they come there, they will look at the whole thing, but they're going to pull in the top information on the search result. So, for example, that's a very good question. If I go to Google, and I search for, let's say, Arizona Diamondbacks. This information that comes up right over here, and this information right over here, actually that's an AdWords. This information over here, this over here, is being pulled from the top of the website. So that would be information that we have in this area. So again, that's another reason why this top area, this mission statement and about me is so important, because that's the content that Google is going to pull. That's not the only content, and I'm simplifying it, but I'm just giving you a basic overview on how it pulls in information. Now, the second part to that question is Google won't come back unless you have new content. So if you make a profile like this and then you never go back and change it for years and years, Google has no reason to come back to re-index your site. So you can do one of two things. Either you can continue to update your profile, every week or so or every month or so that Google does come in and look at your site again, or you can add video content or add some sort of update. So maybe you want to take one of these sections over here and change it to, let's say, sorry, I keep locking you guys, my marketing update, and then each month you can come in here and make a change to it. The reason why I suggest that is because every time that you make a change to the website, you're signaling Google to come back and index your site. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Just another quick one. I've got a WordPress marketing update that I do. Can I link to that here?
You can link to it, but linking to it will not signal Google to come back to this profile. So what you're doing is you're going to have, it's called backlinking. You're going to link to, and that would be under your blog. So that would be under the blog area. You'd have the link right up here. Oh. And then you'll see that right here. See View My Blog? Yep. You're linking to it, so you're going to have people go and see your blog, which is great, but you're also taking them to another site. Now, we've already hard-coded into the site that all these links open up in a new window. So do you see how a new tab just opened up? And I went to the Coldwell Banker blog site. When I close this, what happens? I'm right back on the profile site, right? So if someone wants to continue to search for properties, they can. Otherwise, what would happen is if you clicked on this link and it opened in the same window, most users, what they're going to do is, let's say this is the same window, when they're done, they're just going to click close, and then they're no longer on your site anymore. So that's just something to keep in mind. But yeah, you can put the blog link on here just like we have over here, but it's not going to pull in the content. Again, you would want to think about how you want to do that. Video is a great way of doing that. When you put a video embedded into here, that's a great method. Or coming up with maybe a monthly strategy where you just add content to the second area of an update. And we have plenty of resources that can help you get that done, and we can talk about it offline. Any questions so far? Okay, so going on, we also have the ability to add links to our profile. And a link is a address that actually linked to a website, document, or something that's on the web. So for Mary, she has, here's our current market overview report to help you see the areas I serve. And when I, as a user, clicks on here, it's going to open up our Market Watch overview report for Phoenix, and I can see the current information because she's linking to it. To do that is quite easy. What we need to do is we got to go back to our administration, so NRT Gateway, azmoves.com, admin, agent tools, agent profile, and they have to be added in the biography section. So we'll click on the area that we want it added, and depending on where you want it added, we're going to type out our sentence. This is my first link. Please click here for information. So the whole sentence is, this is my first link. Please click here for information. We do not want to highlight the whole sentence and apply the link to it. We want to apply the link to the area that we want the user to click. So in this sentence, I say, please click here. So I'm going to very carefully with my mouse highlight over the click here. Notice how I did it from the back to the front. I did it that way because I have seen Internet Explorer, if you do it too fast, if you do it this way, it'll actually get that extra space that's between the E and the F. So when I do it backwards, I have a little more control. So once I highlight, I'm telling the system I want to apply a link here. And to apply the link, once it's highlighted, we're going to go to this top column over here and click on this third to last icon that says Insert Link. And we're going to have three options. We're going to have URL, link text, and target. The URL is the address of the link that we want to link to. So for example, this is again the market action report that we just market overview report, that we just linked to, and the address or the URL is right up here. This long thing right here. So what we need to do is we need to highlight, right-click, and copy. Go back to our profile, and in the URL field, we're going to delete what's in there just by highlighting, deleting, right-clicking, and pasting. This is then going to paste that whole link, again, this one up here that links to this report, and it'll link to this report. Next, for link text, it says click here. That's what I highlighted. If you see something else in the link text, that means that you didn't do it right, because whatever the link text is, like for example here is click here, that's what you highlighted. So this is a way that you can check to make sure that you highlighted the right area. Lastly, target means when I click on the link, what do I want to happen? Now I just showed you guys when we were talking about the blog that when I click on the blog link, it opens up in a new window. We want that because we want the user to close that window and then come back to our website or our profile. And to do that, we need to go to Target, New Window. You can ignore all the rest of them. New Window will tell you, if I click on this link, open it up in a new window. And then simply click OK. And you know that it worked because the highlighted text now turns blue with an underline. Where to click Save, Save Draft, and then continue to make any other changes that we want.
Inserting testimonials.
Right. So if you wanted to insert testimonials, again, you can either add a new bullet or edit an existing one, and just change this to testimonials, and then type out everything that you want, and you can save it from there. The last thing that you need to know is you can move these biography headers in any order that you want. So for example, if I want to change this as a new header, I would just click the up arrow. And we'll see that that's now in position 2. And if I click the up arrow again, it's in position 3, and so forth. If you want to move it down, you just click the down arrow, and it'll move it down to the second to last position. And then that moves it down to the last position. Unfortunately, you have to do it one at a time, and then the website has to reload. But it'll still move it around and get you with what you want. The other thing that I recommend is if you don't want to use all these and you get confused by having too many options, just click the Remove link, and it'll remove it from the list, so you only have less to deal with. Again, once you've made a change, again, each time that you make a change to one of these, so I come in here, I'll make a change, I click Save. Before you go to the next one, click Save Draft. This will ensure you will not lose your progress. I also recommend you guys saving a master file in Word, Google Docs, Notepad of all of this, because you will copy a lot of this information to other profiles and other websites such as coldwellbanker.com, realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, and so forth. Ultimately, when you're finished, you're going to click Save Send for approval, and then the admin will approve it and let you know if there's any issues. Most notably, if you're missing a picture or your ID. If it comes to me, I'll let you know, or if it comes to your OA or a branch manager, they'll let you know. Last but not least, before I end this, that's our profile. But to get to our website is a little different. Our website is our first name dot last name. So it's going to be www.azmoves.com / and I'll use Mary.core, just like that. So if you can see up here, it's /Mary.core, and when I press Enter, I get to our website. Now again, remember, our website has our header up here. Anytime I do a search, so if I do Goodyear, and let's do up to 225, just to get a few properties, I'm still on my website. So any time that a user comes to my website and does a search, and again, this is up here, all these listings will appear under my website, and then they can contact me to get information and schedule a showing and so forth. This is a very, very useful tool instead of having them just go to azmoves.com and doing a search. This also is a lead that goes directly to you, so it's not a company lead and you don't have a 15-minute rule from Homebase In Touch. So that is the crux of it. Some additional information would be on the education calendar. If you go to, so this is the education calendar I got to by going to Inside AZ Moves, clicking on Training Calendar. And if I look for the Trak class that says Profiles and Websites, the next one's on the 14th, we have a bunch of downloads. So once it loads, we're going to scroll down. There's some downloads here. The first one is links to your website. And those are links that you can use on your profile that include links such as, let me see if I can make this larger, statewide links. So you have home sale checklists, home buying checklists, and so forth. Websites that you can link to, expertise. Then we have national, international links, which are a lot of the features on coldwellbanker.com. And then we have a list of our statistics that you can link to as well. All you need to do to get this to work is if we Control-click, it's going to ask, do you want to open it? Click yes. And then it'll open in a new window. And it's off my screen. And we can look to see if we want to use this report or website. And again, just follow the steps that I outlined before by highlighting, copying, and then inserting a link into your profile. So that is how you update your profile, and that is also how you share your website with people. So remember, your website is what you want to share out. So whenever you send an email, make sure in your footer you have www.azmoves.com/your first name, your last name, and that it is a link. The way that I showed you how to make a link on your profile also is true of Microsoft Outlook and all the other email marketing tools that you're going to encounter. This is what you should show. If they want to read about you and see your profile, they'll just click on About Me, and it'll link to your profile. So at this point, I'm done with my presentation. If you guys have any other questions or if there's anything you want me to go over or anything like that, just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to do that.
Brandon, thanks on behalf of every agent in this room.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And I would encourage all of you, if at all possible,